So Democrats showed up at the gates of a ICE detention facility. It's a jail. We're using detention facility as a euphemism, but basically Homeland Security and ICE agents round up criminal illegal aliens who are in this country illegally, have stayed in this country illegally, have broken the law, and are members of gangs. They're put into this prison in Newark, and Democrats hate it. Democrats hate that Trump is enforcing the law. Democrats hate that Trump is doing this and shows how Democrats were incapable. Biden and Kamala were incapable of doing it. Democrats also hate that this facility in Newark is being utilized. The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, wanted to keep this place from opening, but it's a federal thing and he has no say over it. And so 3 members of the House of Representatives tried to storm the fence and sneak in, and they brought a mob of protesters with them. What happened next? Well, they were treated like criminals. That's what happened next. Now, they've been lying about this, but we've got the truth. Let's start with Tricia McLaughlin. You'll remember her. She is the deputy spokesperson for Department of Homeland Security. We interviewed her when we were at the White House a couple of weeks ago. She's very good. She's very effective, especially anyone can be when you've got the truth on your side. Here she is explaining to CNN viewers what the facts are.
Thanks, Victor, for having me. I'm glad I can be here to actually give viewers the facts. What happened is that these members of Congress, including the mayor as well, and a mob of protesters, as there was a bus full of detainees going through the gate, they stormed the gate and actually entered the first security checkpoint. This put law enforcement at risk, and this actually put the detainees as well at risk. If any official, including these members of Congress, want to enter the facility and take a tour, DHS is more than accommodating. But just because you're a member of Congress does not mean you can break the law, trespass, put law enforcement at risk, and storm the detention facility. I have yet to hear anyone on this network actually talk about who is in this detention facility. There are members of MS-13, known terrorists, murderers, child rapists. There are some of the worst in this detention facility. And I'm still very confused why these Democrats are so hell-bent on getting these heinous actors out of this facility when we have the proper permitting. And actually, in that press conference, those members of Congress actually noted the great conditions of this facility that our ICE enforcement officers so bravely operate.
So let's just be clear here. These Democrats wanted the video of a fight. They picked a fight with Homeland Security and with ICE agents. They wanted a melee. They wanted chaos because they're trying to paint a picture to the American people that ICE agents aren't actually federal law enforcement. They're Trump stormtroopers, and Trump's a fascist, and this is a death camp that he's put these people in. But the overriding image that the American people are going to take away is, once again, Democrat elected officials not fighting for you, not fighting for safe neighborhoods where U.S. citizens and taxpayers are trying to live their peaceful lives. No, these Democrats, these elected Democrats, are fighting for the criminals. And actually enforcing the law and imprisoning these criminals is what they're protesting against. That's the indelible message that they're leaving. They're also lying about what happened. Here's one of the, well, actually, all 3 of the Congress people were on CNN with Dana Bash because that's why they did this. They wanted publicity. And then take a listen to what one of them lied about.
But there's no reason for it. Nothing happened other than the chaos that they created themselves. If anything, we were pushed and shoved and found in a very vulnerable situation for the 3 of us.
Wow. And obviously something happened with, oh, that's her makeup? Oh, okay. I thought maybe she got roughed up a little too in the face. All right. So we got a he said, she said situation, or she said, or she said, they said, or, well, either way, we can only clear this up by looking at the video. So let's roll the video. What exactly happened? You heard Tricia McLaughlin there. You see, one has to think that this detention facility has a, I don't know, what's the word for it? Front door. That's the word. Yeah, a front door. And so were they at the front door trying to get in and set an appointment so they could exercise their oversight on the facility? No. They went to the gate at the driveway at the parking lot, And when you heard Tricia McLaughlin paint the picture, when they needed to open that fence to allow a bus in with criminals to be detained, they tried to storm that gate at the parking lot. That's what Tricia McLaughlin said. Now, you just heard the Congresswoman say, hey, nothing happened there, except they started roughing us up. They started it with us. They started pushing us around. They started fighting with us. Well, if keeping a congressman from going through an open security gate and following a bus in while a mob of protesters were following them, if that's what you call roughing people up, well, okay. But who really pushed who here? Let's watch. Now, let's keep it rolling here. The one person who's easiest to find in this video is the woman in the red coat, right? Now, there she is. All right, now you're watching it in real time. We'll watch the slowdown together in a second, but let me just be clear on who she is. We'll go back to this media hit. She's the congresswoman in the middle there. She's a congresswoman from New Jersey. That's her. She looks just like she looks in the video there, except now she's wearing a blue coat instead of a red coat. All right, so watch her actions. Watch her arms. Watch how she shoves the guards. And also, by the way, let's just look at the overview here. There's the gate that the spokeswoman from DHS was talking about. See that chain link fence there? You see that the fence is opening up, and then you suddenly see these people in suits and pantsuits trying to plow through that gate, which is not the point of entry for pedestrians, even if you're a member of Congress. By the way, one of these men is also the mayor of Newark. More on him in a minute. The mayor of Newark is not a federal official. He's not a member of Congress. He has no right to oversight. He has no right to access in this building, but he plowed in too. We'll get to him in a sec, but watch what happens here. Just like she described, opening the fence, and then they all try to start flooding in. The woman in the red coat, she's a member of Congress. Watch what she did right there with the forearm. You see her push that cop from behind? Now, did you see that overhand right? Right there. An overhand right. Punching right there. Here it is in slow motion. Right there. I'm sorry, who's assaulting who? There's a right cross against a man in a blue jacket that says police. Watch it again. There's the overhand. Now here's the right cross. Boom. Right there in the back of the shoulder. Also, by the way, punching people from behind. Sucker punching them from behind. Now, I doubt she carries much weight behind those punches, but maybe I should revise and extend those remarks after getting a little more information. Anyway, the point is she was doing the punching. She was doing the shoving. She was using her forearm and elbow from behind, trying to slam those cops around so that she could get in that gate that she had no business barging through. That's the bottom line. That's a violation of the law. That's assaulting a federal officer. I don't care if you're an elected member of Congress. She had no business being there, not in the way that she was there. Yes, they have oversight responsibility. They can't demand to storm into any federal building at any time, and especially not a corrections facility or a detention center. These are high security locations. You can't just show up and say, I'm a congresswoman, let me in. And you certainly can't barge in the way that she just did. That's anarchy. But this is what the Democrats want you to believe. They want you to believe that, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm a member of Congress. Let me in now. Yeah, try that again. So here's Tricia McLaughlin one more time. Now, this morning on Fox and Friends, laying out exactly what might happen here with these members of Congress.
It was a very tense situation. It unfortunately did not have to be like that. They created that confrontation. They created that chaos.
So did your agents create this confrontation?
Absolutely not, Lawrence. They were just simply doing their job and trying to keep the facility safe. Body slamming, body ramming, striking an officer, pushing, shoving, whatever you want to call it. It sure looks like assault. People should watch that and decide for themselves. There's no place for that, especially members of Congress. It is so beneath them to be treating law enforcement like this, our brave law enforcement. We thank them for keeping that facility safe and keeping Americans safe every single day.
So, Tricia, they later got a tour of the facility. What happened once they received a tour? Did they see anything that was wrong?
Well, Lawrence, you'll probably remember that part of the reason that they were protesting apparently is because they were saying we didn't have the right permitting, we didn't have the right inspection, which is absolutely false. We had all the right permitting, all the right fire code inspection, electrical inspection, safety inspection. But in a press conference afterward, just showcasing that they want their 15 minutes of fame, they actually said that the conditions in the facility were quite good and up to snuff. So it's pathetic, and we won't stand for this in this administration. We're not playing games with the safety of our law enforcement.
Yeah, and so why, if they were just going to inspect and just wanted to take a look, why'd they bring a mob with them? Why'd they alert the media? You know, there were a lot of cameras there. Why? Why did they alert the media, bring a mob, and why did they go to the chain link fence where the cars are driving in and out instead of going through the front door? Good questions all, and they won't answer it because then it would expose the lie. See, they did want the photo op. They wanted this situation. They wanted their 15 minutes of fame, as Tricia McLaughlin just said. They were only missing AOC, dressed all in white with her red lipstick, crying in front of the parking lot because she was brought to tears based on what was going on the inside. This is who they are. This is what they do. We don't just get publicity and have a press conference. We bring a mob and we riot, and then we blame the people that we're rioting against for causing the situation in the first place. Tricia McLaughlin just said the American people can judge for themselves. And, well, you just saw the video, and I would love for you to judge for yourself. Who do you think is wrong here? Who do you think caused this problem? Who do you think, as the kids on the playground like to say, started it? Let us know in the comments section, because I have a hunch I know who you're going to think are the bad guys in this whole scenario. One other correction, though, we do love Tricia McLaughlin. I think she's fantastic, and she's great for DHS, and she's going to have a great career. I'm glad that she's there. But she got one thing wrong. When she said that this was beneath these members of Congress, no. This is not beneath the Democrats in this House of Representatives. Let's face it. Look at what they've been doing for these last 120 days or so of the Trump administration. They're rooting against our country's success. They're rooting against law and order. They're rooting against the enforcement of our laws, especially our border security and our immigration laws. And they're bending over backwards to represent the criminal element who aren't even citizens of this country, rather than you, we, the people, the taxpayers, the actual citizens of this nation. This is exactly who they are. It's not beneath them. It's right down there where they are. But other than that, McLaughlin knocked it out of the park. She's the best.